All right, this is our week 7 review. We got 4 clips to look at. The first one, we're going to remind ourselves about the helping the runner. So, Rule 9-1, the so called tush push play. All right, just remind ourselves that this is illegal in high school in all cases. Okay, so if we look here, we see we've got quarterback under center. We got 2 up backs right behind him. Okay, they're setting up for it on the goal line. And it's at the snap, we get an immediate push into the end zone. Okay, so that's illegal from the get-go. All right, so we need to get that one. Okay, helping the runner 5 yards. Next clip is we're going to look at this outside receiver at the right hand side of the screen, and we're going to see a pick play. We hadn't seen this too much this year, but this can happen anytime. So we're going to keep an eye on this outside receiver. This would be the deep wings initial responsibility. So watch his movement at the snap. He's going to come in against the man coverage and pick off the inside defender, and they complete the pass down the sideline. So we need an OPI call on this right here, right there. So that offensive receiver is responsible for avoiding that contact because his pass interference restrictions begin at the snap. The defender's pass interference restrictions begin when the ball is thrown, but the offensive player's restrictions begin at the snap. So he is responsible for avoiding that contact. But this looks pretty intentional. But even if it's not intentional, he's responsible for avoiding that contact. So that's OPI. All right, let's talk about forceful contact against a defenseless receiver. We've seen this a couple of times throughout the year. We're getting it sometimes, and sometimes we're not. I think we're confusing this with targeting. So just because he doesn't hit him in the head on this play doesn't mean it's not a foul, okay? If he hits him in the head, it's targeting. If he doesn't hit him in the head, it still can be a foul. So we see receiver over the middle of the field right here, forcefully contacted. Okay, might could argue that was above the shoulders. You might even call that targeting. Doesn't matter really in high school. It's just it's a personal foul, 15 yards. We're not throwing anybody out of the game for it. But the point we want to make here is that this does not have to be above the shoulders to be a foul. For him to legally contact him forcefully, he has to wrap up or use open hands or be playing the ball. And he's got to do one of those 3 things: wrap his arms around him, use open hands, or play the ball. And he's not doing either of those 3. So where he hits him is not relevant when he doesn't do either of those 3 things. And you can see there, he's just blowing him up to be blowing him up. Okay. And that's a foul. Need to get those. That's a player safety issue. All right. Here's one that we need to be aware of. Excuse me. We knew this was coming after Oklahoma pulled their little trick on Auburn a few weeks ago and got away with it. We knew this was coming. This is kind of the opposite trick. All right. So if you know about the Oklahoma-Auburn situation, Oklahoma ran a guy to the sideline and then ran him free down the sideline for a touchdown. This is the opposite. So this is coming out right after a kickoff. So it's 1st and 10, and teams have switched out, change of possession, and we've got 10 players for the offense currently on the field out here. Okay, 10 players. Notice what happens. It's on the opposite hash from the home sideline. The formation is into the far boundary, and then we shift over. Right now we've only got 10 people on the field, and then we shift over into the boundary further, and at the same time, you'll see down here at the bottom of the screen, here comes player number 11 onto the field. So they're shifting all attention. All attention is shifted to this side of the field, and this kid slips on the field. All right, this is an intentional thing. Yes, he got inside the numbers, okay? Yes, he got inside the numbers. So, you make you think it might be legal unless they're intentionally doing it and using it as a deception. All right, they're substituting deceptively, and this is obviously an intent because the first thing they do as soon as they snap the ball is throw it to him, okay? They never had any intention of doing anything but that, all right? and he's off for a touchdown. Okay. All right. So this was an intentional, deceptive use of substitution from the get-go. So that's illegal participation, 15 yards. All right. Just 4 clips this week, real quick. All right. If you got any questions about them, let me know. And good luck as we head into week 8.